my mom, who's a world champion warrior, is just freaking out. She looks at me like I'm going to explode or something, so I mostly stay in my room.
My husband says that I always overreact to everything, but I knew that there was something wrong. Her grandmother died several months ago, and I expected Tiana to take it hard. They were very close. But I never saw her cry. She never talked about her grandmother. It was strange. At first, I thought it was an eating disorder because she was just picking at her food. But then I started to notice other things. She always loved going to dance class, and she was working really hard towards the recital. But then she started coming up with excuses to skip rehearsals. She was always on the phone with her friends, constantly chatting and texting. I used to really get on to her about that. But at one point I realized that the phone calls just stopped. She was spending all of her time in her room, avoiding conversations with everyone, not just me and her father, and that wasn't like her. I had to do something. I did some reading, and it started adding up to what looked like depression. I knew that we needed help, but I wasn't sure where to turn. Finally, I decided to call her pediatrician. Dr. Knowles recommended a psychiatrist who suggested that we put Tiana on a mild antidepressant. It took a few weeks before we saw change, and even longer before we found the right dosage. That was frustrating. But I think it helped all of us to know that we were actually doing something about the problem. The psychiatrist did a great job getting Tiana to talk about what was really going on. And little by little, we started to see progress. She wasn't isolating herself all the time. Her appetite picked up. And I finally started seeing her smile again. Phone's for you.
Oh, thank you.
And I knew we were really making progress when that phone was hardly ever out of her hands anymore. I think the most important thing is to trust your gut. If something doesn't feel right, step up. Depression doesn't go away on its own. You have to do what needs to be done to get help.
Mom, come on.
I'm coming.